Dear Diary, I'm thinking of leaving my poly marriage, but I just found out I'm 15 weeks pregnant. I've been married for 9 years, and for the past 4, my husband and I have been navigating a polyamorous relationship. It all began when he confessed to having feelings for one of our mutual friends. He was so enthusiastic about the idea of a poly triad, and before I knew it, we were living together as a trio. It wasn't easy. My family disapproved and stopped visiting us. That stung deeply, but at the time, I believed we could make this work. I struggled with jealousy, I won't lie about that. I told my husband I was open to dating someone new and possibly bringing another person into our fold. But the truth? I wasn't ready. Not at all. The men I was genuinely interested in would pull away the moment they learned I was a married woman in a non-monogamous relationship. It was discouraging. And as for the men who were okay with my situation, I wasn't attracted to them. Then came 2017. Everything changed when my husband's girlfriend became pregnant with his first child. I love that little girl with all my heart. She calls me Mama and adores me. And I feel the same about her. But as joyful as her arrival was, it also marked the beginning of a shift in my life. Around the same time, I received a major promotion at work. Suddenly, I went from working 4 hours a day to essentially living out of state for 4 months at a time. Immersing myself in my work became my escape. In 2019, my husband started talking about us having a child of our own to complete the family. And then, in June 2020, I found out I was pregnant. My husband is extremely over the moon because we are having a boy. Our daughter is so excited to be getting a baby brother. But here I am, 15 weeks pregnant, and unsure if I want to go through with having this baby. 2 nights ago, my company offered me a permanent leadership position in a new city. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The kind of offer that could transform my career. Yet, if I take it, it will shatter everything my poly family and I have built. Right now, my husband and his girlfriend are busy working on the baby's room, while I sit here, overwhelmed and conflicted. I can't stop thinking about what it would mean to walk away. To take this job, leave this life behind, and start fresh. I know I have friends in that city who would support me. One of my closest friends, who I'd even be working with, says I should go for it. He thinks I'm unhappy with my life and that this change could be exactly what I need. But there's another part of me, a quieter, more desperate voice, that keeps whispering something else. What if I end this pregnancy? I haven't told anyone that I'm contemplating an abortion. It feels like a betrayal of everything we've worked for, everything my husband has dreamed of for our family. But would it be worse to bring another child into this world if I'm already so unsure of my place in it? I'm drowning in the weight of these decisions. The family we've created, the life we've built, it's all so carefully constructed, but I can't shake the feeling that I'm suffocating beneath it. What do I do? Do I sacrifice my career and dreams to hold this family together? Or do I take the leap, knowing it could mean starting over entirely? I wish the answers were clearer. But for now, I feel lost. Until next time, diary sealed.
Dear Diary, my husband wants me to abort our baby. This past week has been a whirlwind of emotions. My husband of 10 years freaked out when I told him I was pregnant. He casually suggested that abortion was a good option for us, and if that wasn't enough, confessed that my body disgusted him sometimes. All of this happened in the span of a single week. Now I'm sitting here, wondering if I'm justified in thinking this might be the end of our marriage. It's so easy to doubt myself right now, because hormones, right? But I can't shake the feeling that this is the straw that breaks the camel's back. We've been together since we were 16. High school sweethearts. Teenaged parents. Him dropping out of school while I stuck it out. The whole messy, complicated story. We're 33 now and have fought hard to get to where we are, financially stable, raising 2 boys, trying to smooth out the cracks in our marriage. We've done counseling. We've had heart-to-hearts. We spent time reconnecting. But I think I'm done. His insecurities have always been at the root of our problems. They consume him, keeping him from truly putting anyone else's feelings ahead of his own. And this pregnancy? It brought everything to a boiling point. When I told him the news, I knew it wasn't going to be met with enthusiasm. So I prepped him. I asked, pleaded, really, that he please be kind. But that didn't stop him. He insinuated that I got pregnant on purpose and started talking about options, knowing full well that abortion isn't an option for me. His words left me feeling alienated and profoundly alone. Over the next few days, he kept bringing up abortion, jokingly as he put it. Every time he did, it drove a deeper wedge between us. Then came the breaking point. One night, he casually admitted that my post-baby body disgusted him sometimes. That's when it hit me. My feelings have never been first. Not once. I've spent our entire marriage propping him up, supporting him, feeding his ego while he makes empty promises to do better. Next time, he always says. But next time never comes. I feel like I've built a marriage on IOUs. We argue. I cry. He promises to change. And then, nothing. I've been holding onto the idea of who I want him to be, instead of seeing him for who he really is. Of course, there are reasons I've stayed this long. He's a good provider with a bright future. We have 2 boys who adore him. I'm not working right now, and we're thousands of miles away from our families. But love? Right now, it's hard to say I love him. At least, not the version of him I see today. He says he doesn't want a divorce. And yet, this morning, I found our browser open to a spousal support estimator for the state of California. Actions speak louder than words, don't they? I'm pregnant, jobless, emotionally drained, and full of doubt. Am I being unreasonable? Or ungrateful? Is this just as good as marriage gets? Should I keep pretending to believe that his emotional IOUs are worth something? Should I lower my expectations and accept that my husband will never truly care about my feelings? I feel like a beggar wondering if she even has the right to be a chooser. But deep down, I know I can't keep ignoring what's right in front of me. I need to stand up for myself and for this baby. I just hope I'm not being crazy. I just hope I'm not wrong. Until tomorrow, diary sealed.
Dear Diary, my wife wants an open relationship, I don't. I've been with my wife for about 7 years now. I'm 40 and she's 38. I have a 12-year-old daughter from my previous marriage. My wife, she's always been what I call wild as the west-blown wind. In her 20s, she traveled the country working as a model, collected stamps in her passport from around the world, and somehow managed to pay her bills for over a decade through art and gig work instead of a traditional 9 to 5. She's fiercely independent, and that's one of the things I love most about her. She does what she wants, when she wants, and where she wants. It's a freedom I've always admired, and sometimes struggled with. There were times in the past when things between us weren't great, and she would book trips or take on house-sitting gigs that kept her away more than she was home. But I've learned to let her be. I've told her, do what you want. It creates fewer problems for us. A little while back, she sat me down for a conversation that changed everything. She said she spent too much of her life not being her authentic self, constantly saying no to experiences and opportunities because of the people around her. And moving forward, she couldn't do that anymore. She told me she wants an open relationship. It's non-negotiable, she said. The only rule in her life that she refuses to bend on. She insisted it's not about having sex with someone else, or that there's anyone in particular she has in mind. She just wants the freedom to flirt, kiss, or be physical with someone else if the mood or opportunity strikes. It hit me like a gut punch. I made it clear I wasn't happy with the idea. It's not what I want. But the reality is this lifestyle isn't just a casual request for her, it's a necessity. I saw 3 options in front of me. 1. End the marriage now. 2. Dive into ethical non-monogamy and try to make it work by going on dates myself. 3. Stay with her, remain monogamous, and let her explore as she pleases, waiting to see how that feels over time. I chose the second option. For the past month, I've been on multiple dates. I've met some wonderful women, had great conversations, and even great sex. But deep down, something feels off. The more I explore this new world, the clearer it becomes that it just isn't for me. I know the cliché, stay together for the kids. It's almost always a bad idea, right? But it's hard not to consider the bond between my wife and my daughter. They adore each other. My wife has been such a positive force in her life, and the weight of potentially breaking that connection feels immense. Still, I'm at a crossroads. I'm strongly considering sitting her down and telling her the truth. I'm done with dating other people. I'm not going to participate in an open relationship. If she chooses to pursue physical or emotional connections with others, I'll see it as cheating, and the consequences will be what they are. It's not an ultimatum, but in a way it is. My wife is stubborn, fiercely independent. Just the act of drawing this line might be enough for her to end things herself. And honestly, that might be for the best. There's a slim chance she'll pause, take stock of everything she'd be giving up. Our family, our home, her relationship with my daughter, our circle of friends, and decide that being able to kiss a guy at a party isn't worth the trade-off. But deep down, I don't believe that'll happen. Even now, she's not in a rush. She's kissed one guy after a party and had dinner with another. I believe her when she says she's not eager to dive into this. But eventually, there will be another conversation where she tells me something happened, and that, I'm almost certain, will be the end. This is hard to write, but it's even harder to live. Talk later. Diary sealed.
Dear Diary,